Hello and welcome, I'm Dante from Low Mana, and today we are running through the current lore of Retribution, what we learned from it as well as some interesting side bits we've noticed. So let's jump right into the second of the Overwatch archive missions hitting the game April 10th. The much teased comic kicks off with Reaper sitting beside the bed of Gerard Lacroix as he lays severely injured and hooked up to life support, setting the scene for the rise of Talon's assault directly aimed at Overwatch, and in particular Gerard, who heads the anti-terrorism unit, who pays special attention to Talon and their global activities. Jumping back to the moments before the event itself, we see Gabriel, Gerard and McCree walking through the Blackwatch facility in Rome, masked as you would expect in an Overwatch facility. They're openly talking about a discovery they have made, the name and confirmation of a Talon Council member, who is actually a name we don't see on the current lineup, making it safe to assume these events are going to lead to them not living much longer. Antonio is a key member owning property in Venice, which we've seen before when Reaper and Doomfist return after his release. But for now, he is most notable as an arms dealer and trafficker, making him a key player in the military might of Talon itself. Unfortunately for these three, they are not as far ahead of Talon as they would believe. As they discuss their options, both the lawful and not so lawful approaches, are Talon spies already in action, planting bombs within the building, smuggling in high-grade explosives and triggering a device, planting it right under their noses. As Gabriel and McCree take their leave, content with their progress, the bomb detonates, decimating the building. Fortunately, they are able to run back and save some of the members, such as Gerard, but dozens still perish. This weighs heavily on Reyes. His doubts in Overwatch's structural approach is obvious for everyone to see. This very moment is likely the catalyst for when we see him stray away and ultimately lead to the fall of Overwatch, only a couple of years from this point. Tired with the inaction of Overwatch, and with a passion for revenge, Gabriel, or Gabe as Jack calls him, argues that he can bring the change they need from the shadows, while keeping both Jack, his old friend, and the Overwatch organisation as a whole out of the picture. Reluctantly, Jack seems to agree. Somewhat surprising, but we've seen him ignore convention before with the actions in Uprising. Wasting no time, Gabriel gathers his team, Genji, McCree and Moira, heading out to the Caister location in Venice. Striking by night, in the event we'll soon be able to play. The events in Venice are teased to be the first major chip that will reveal Blackwatch to the world, and ultimately lead to the fail of both Overwatch's reputation and its universal power. Gabriel confirming just how much he actually relates to Talon, as neither play by the rules. That in a nutshell is what we learn towards the slowly evolving plot of Overwatch. However, there are a lot of details that add to the world, or stand out as a little bit odd. The first that stood out to me was how the bomb was smuggled in. Her arm is actually a prosthetic, and only one person has this technology, Doomfist. Just like his arms, this prosthetic is incredibly lifelike, indistinguishable from a regular arm. Antonio himself also has signs of these implants, much like Doomfist, with his markings on his head, making him more than likely much tougher than Gabriel realizes. Along the line of missing arms, we have McCree. He still has his arm, just like he did in Uprising. Is this the mission where he loses this? Or is this just one of the events that lead up to that? Maybe he kept it right up until just before he left. Hopefully we get to find this out on the mission, or perhaps even a short, fingers crossed. I'm unsure if this is an inside joke or merely a coincidence, but take a look at what the bomb is delivered in, a loot box. So technically a loot box led to the complete destruction of Overwatch, Blackwatch, and the rise of Talon. Anyway, back to actual lore. The Retribution event has been described as the event that revealed Blackwatch to the world. Until then, they have been in hiding, hidden by Overwatch. Yet we can clearly see Gabriel and McCree wandering through the streets of Rome in their uniforms, with their tags on display, which is a skull in the Overwatch circle. Apparently no one noticed this, which is a little hard to believe, although we've seen McCree outside in his uniform before on the streets of London, where even Overwatch are banned. I mentioned earlier that we've seen this Talon facility in a comic before, with Doomfist, which is not only a nice callback, but has some interesting lore possibilities. As Jack unofficially authorised this mission as the head of Overwatch, it's safe to say he knows exactly where the mission went down, along with others who likely know, such as Anna, maybe more depending on the exact events. So why is Talon still there? Surely this place would have been locked down. Or without Overwatch, is the world really that oblivious to a giant criminal empire? Could just be a sign of Talon's power, but still seems a little odd to me that they are still able to use it as a base of operations. On a less serious note, we get the name of the Blackwatch dropship, Orca 1, compared to the Overwatch version, Aurora. Outside of their colours, I can't see anything special here. but it's still a nice thing to know. Now it's time for some slightly more off-the-rail topics, so prepare your tinfoil hats. Since before even the betas, when Overwatch was still little more than a character bio and initial cinematics, we've been believers that Gabriel, and by that Reaper, was key in the fall of Overwatch, purposefully tarnishing its reputation and bringing it down from the inside before fully moving over to Talon. Retribution seems to be filling this role, although the timings don't seem to match up fully with his actions, but to be fair, we still know very little about the inner workings of Overwatch, let alone Blackwatch. So the initial theory relates to what we know about Moira. She was responsible for giving Gabriel his powers and ultimately creating Reaper. So how far along is she in this experimentation? She has already created her orb and her kit, but how far has she taken this on Gabriel? Can he teleport at this point, able to become smoke, even unlimited shotguns? He clearly hasn't fully transformed, so what was the tipping point if he already had some of his powers? Is this mission responsible? Or more likely, does this lead to him to take that leap into heavier experimentation? The next is related to Gabriel's relationship with Gerard. Clearly, he is close to him. His near death pushes him to more brash actions. However, we know Talon does kill him using his wife, who will become Widowmaker. Reaper has worked with her for years in the current timeline, yet she killed one of his close friends, and he would have known her before current life. Was it Reaper who gave Talon the idea? The changes to Widow heavily point to Moira's ability to reform DNA, which explains her current state. Did he plan his friend's death using his wife, then take her on in Talon as an assassin who worked by his side? How complicit was she with this? We know she remembers Gerard, but does she remember Reaper's identity? This would have a massive impact on the lore of Overwatch, as well as the social interactions we see, giving Talon an even more sinister undertone than we would expect from such a bright and colourful game. So these are my thoughts on the new lore so far, but I'd love to hear from you. What did I miss? What do you think of the Archives event, and what are you excited for? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. As always, if you want to talk more lore or get involved with the Low Mana community, you can join the Treehouse Discord linked below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little bell for notifications as content goes live. I'll be back with more Retribution lore next week, so until then, I've been Dante, thanks for watching.